What's up, YouTube? Daniel back for another video. So as you can see, I'm outside. This one is going to be about something that happened to me today, and it's a little bit under the weather. Essentially, why it happened a bit, but essentially, I woke up an hour past my bedtime, and that was because my phone died. And that is actually the trick in order to not miss a bedtime or a wake up time is to keep your phone away from you, and you have to get up to get it. But essentially, the point is, sorry about the throat. But essentially, the point is when you are going through your journey, the importance of frequency is huge. And that's something I discovered today. Essentially, the past few months, I've been on my routine of, 2 workouts a day, waking up at the same time, tracking my macros, not going out to party, no drugs, no alcohol, no vices. And essentially, the reason why I realized that has gotten me to the place I am now mentally is because it removes you from the lowest frequency possible, which is shame and guilt. And that is something that you'll have to deal with a lot when you are going through healing with your skin. So essentially, a lot of people have this tendency to overeat or eat the wrong things, like they shouldn't have that snack or that dessert and they do it anyways. And when you are on your journey, essentially, you realize that you'll be faced with a lot of those moments where your frequency does drop, and you have to basically make the decision that the higher self of you would do, which is not eat that snack and not eat that dessert. And the reason why that is important is because if you do that wrong decision once and make I guess are okay with it, or don't really feel the shame that much, then it'll be essentially become something that becomes more and more normal, and you start to really deter the progress you can make when you are healing with your skin. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. Me before, I used to have this addiction to dates. So the dried fruit dates. Essentially, when I was going through the toughest time, you can say, in my life, or probably my 20s. And essentially, I was in a very depressive period and was using food as a way to escape that. And I was eating basically like almost like full jars of dates. And if you realize how much sugar that is, you realize how bad that is for you. But essentially, when you are in that state and you're super down, you don't really care. You kind of just eat whatever is there to kind of console you. But essentially, I realized that it happened bit by bit, and it wasn't something that happened over time. So basically, it started with me just eating one, and then going to two, going to three, or maybe just having a handful, and then having that be normal after, like, I'm overeating. At that point, I wasn't tracking my macros. So at a point of overeating, you decide, okay, it's okay to have some dates. You have some dates. You're already in that, once you're overeat, you're already in that frequency of shame, because it's something that you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be doing, but you do it anyways. So you overeat, and on top of it, okay, I'm already in that frequency. So if I do this, it doesn't really matter too much. So you do, you eat the dates. For instance, for me, it could be for you chocolate or soda or whatever you guys eat. But essentially, when you do that and you stay in that frequency, you start to make worse and worse decisions. And the point is, you have to find a routine that gets you out of that frequency. So should be or frequency or routine that keeps you out of being able to go down there. So like I said, for me, vices was a big thing, in terms of maybe going out too much to party, thing with girls, a stint with maybe like drug use. And this is all things that bring down your frequency, even though you don't think it at the time. But when you remove these things, you realize that your frequency stays at a state where it's away from shame and guilt. Is almost a bit higher. Obviously, there's ones where there's like enlightenment and love and stuff like that. But the point is, you have to stay away from the ones that you can, which is shame and guilt. And I gave you an example for me for dates, and how it worked for my journey. But you're gonna find so many different things, and it could be going out with friends and having eating something you shouldn't be eating, like when you're going out to eat, you realize that most restaurants don't care about you, so you're just eating basically, it could be the proper food, maybe like a steak or something like that, but you don't know what they cook it with. It could be seed oils, it could be butter, it could be something you should be eating based on your diet. And it's making those small decisions that keep you away from that, because like I said, once you're there, you just start to make more and more decisions once you're down there. It's like basically, once you could say, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Like when girls, they go in a pool and they're like, "Oh, don't wet my hair because it's already I washed it, or it is the day before or 2 days before. I want to like keep my hair dry because I washed it." But then let's say something happens and their hair is already wet. They're like, "Okay, might as well, it's like it doesn't matter now." So they just kind of go in and start swimming. The same thing is with your decisions. So if you're away from that state, but something caused you to go down there, you eventually just stay there because that's kind of your frequency, and that's essentially something that's going to kill your progress or your journey. So for me, I realized I never had a routine that kept me away, and there was many times where I ruined my progress. Like I said, one was dates, then there was like a stint with like nuts and seeds. I had a lot of these I guess pumpkin seeds, and yeah, I was just in a really bad place. Like it's really bad, and I was just eating and consoling myself with food while having psoriasis. So I mean, you can see how bad that was. Somehow nothing happened to me, which is kind of interesting. But in terms of like things getting worse, because I was eating all this like shit that I shouldn't have, but I guess God was on my side, and He didn't want me to be here to share the message with you guys. So basically, that is the message for today. So find something, a routine that keeps you away from low frequency activities. You can understand low frequency activities, like I mentioned, the ones overeating, vices, um, you know, not tracking your food. So you're just eating, a bunch of wrong things that you shouldn't be eating, or eating the wrong foods, and basically ruining your diet. Could be, yeah, mostly vices are the ones that are the biggest ones, and also not working or exercising. That'll just put you in shame when you know you should be, because you have to move your body, move your lymphatic system, and also get autophagy going. So if this video helped you, please like and subscribe. You'll see in the description that there is a free Facebook group that I run. So for the past 8 years, I've been able to live drug-free from psoriasis, and I share that on this Facebook group daily, things that I feel can help you guys, value posts, and you guys can interact with me there, and also follow me on Instagram. So if you like the video, hope to see you in the next one. If you stuck to the end, much love, appreciate you, hope you got something from it. And like I said, find a routine that keeps you away from shame and guilt, and you can only ascend. In the meantime, I wish you all the best, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep killing it.